The following information is intended for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. The views expressed do not reflect those of this broadcaster. Should you choose to implement this information, please do so only with the assistance of a licensed medical professional. Neither the presenter nor this broadcaster assume any responsibility for any adverse effects or consequences that may result.
Why would you want to be your own doctor? Maybe you've heard that from some people. Well, I've got a doctor. Okay, great. So you go to the doctor, you get some testing done, and you come up with more questions than you've got answers. Well, didn't really answer what I wanted to get done. Kind of told me that there was nothing wrong with me, but I know there's something wrong with me. All right, then fine, be your own doctor. But wait, I don't have the schooling to do that. Let me tell you something. Health is a lot simpler than you think it is. And the answers are out there if you know where to look. And again, it's a lot simpler than you think. My wife Jodi is here today to talk with us, and we are about to give you a health awakening. Hey, welcome to the Health Awakening. I'm Scott Laird. Maybe you went to the doctor and maybe you didn't get the answers you wanted and you walked away frustrated thinking, why am I doing this? Am I crazy? I mean, the doctor said I'm fine. He knows what's good for me, right? Well, remember something. The doctor is trained in a certain facility that is sponsored by certain organizations, and those organizations are going to have something to say about the curriculum that that doctor learns. So remember that there's one way that they're learning, but there's more than one way to skin a cat, if you will.
Right.
And there's more than one way to look at your health. So please welcome my wife, Jodi Laird.
Hello.
We run Laird Wellness. If you've never heard of that before, there's the website on the bottom of your screen, lairdwellness.com. And by the way, before we forget, we're going to be talking about some blood testing that we do. We'd like to offer folks a little something for that. Yep. There's the info right there, lairdwellness.com/testing, and here is a code you can use. Use the code AWAKENING, and you can get $50 off any of the blood tests that we're going to talk about today.
Right.
And we want to talk about blood tests because testing is what you need to do to find out what's wrong.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people, when they go to the doctor doesn't test for very much. And that's why we say maybe you want to be your own doctor. And we're going to talk about the kind of books that maybe you'd want to read and have in your library.
I'm always surprised at how the testing goes when you go to a doctor. We have a client who had her lipids tested and a CBC with diff. And if you know what a CBC with diff is, it's, 10 markers, white blood cell count, a few other things, as well as lipids. And she is on some major psychiatric drugs because of those markers. Has nothing to do with that. I'm sure they take symptoms into consideration, but it's amazing to me how little they test and how many drugs people are on. Yeah. It's crazy.
It is crazy because for every symptom there's a drug is typically the MO of every medical school, and that's what they learn. Now, these are not dumb people. They're not being, they're not stupid. They are being suckered because, we have a daughter who's going through medical school right now. She tells us some of the crazy stuff they're being told in school. It's nuts. We shake our heads and go, why are they talking about that? That's old, disproven information, and there's way better ways to take care of the body. So, it's not the doctor's fault. It's the way they've been taught. If doctors went into a medical school that taught natural health, I don't think we'd have all the problems that we do with health these days.
Or take diet into consideration.
Or take diet at least.
All.
Right.
At all.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And so, and again, part of the problem too is the tools they're using. Now, when you do a blood test through Laird Wellness, we will send you to LabCorp.
Yep.
Mainstream place that does mainstream testing.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with the test. What's wrong is when the results come back, how they are interpreting that, and who is telling you about those tests or those test results. Okay, so just to give a couple examples. So first of all, the reference interval on the right-hand side of a blood test, that is the average health of the average American. Those are not optimal numbers.
Right.
Okay? Don't think that if I'm in that range, I'm doing great. If you're in that range, you are in the same boat with every American. Put it that way. And how sick is the average American? How many drugs, like Jodi said, is the average American on? It's crazy. Our pharmacist friend Billy Weiss could tell you it's a heck of a lot more than you think it is. Right. So why would you want to be like that? Well, how do I get out of that, you might ask? Okay, great. Do the test. Let us interpret it for you. Okay, that's what we're saying. Now, we don't diagnose, we don't prescribe, but we do know what an optimal health marker looks like, and we can teach you about it. And then you can take that information and make your own decision about what to do.
There's two different extremes. So for instance, if you take a look at the sugars, the average health of the average American would say, you know, this is normal, but their sugars are up here. Whereas lipids, you would do the opposite. This is where you want to be in the ranges, and this is where you are, but they want you to be way down here. So they're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, and both not quite right.
Exactly. Now we'll get into glucose maybe a little bit later, but cholesterol. We actually have a graphic about cholesterol. We'll show you in just a second here. But cholesterol is one of those things where they say you want your total cholesterol to be 199 or below. Well, great. Who decided that? Some drug companies who could bring your cholesterol to 199 or below. Oh, really?
Not to mention, do a little research on the 70s and what cholesterol ranges were in the 70s.
Yeah, cholesterol was
way different than they are today.
Yeah, normal was considered 300. Yep. Did man evolve from the 70s where now we need to have cholesterol of under 200? No, it's because a drug can put you there. Now take a look at this graphic. Here's how cholesterol works. You've got LDL on the left-hand side there in the form of a delivery truck, and garbage truck on the right-hand side, which is your HDL. In the middle at the bottom, there is your red blood cell. So every blood cell is like a grocery store, okay? You have trucks bringing stuff in and garbage trucks taking stuff out. So what a drug does to bring down cholesterol is it brings down your LDL. That means it's bringing down the number of delivery trucks of nutrients to your cells. This is not what you want. So, but why is LDL called the criminal? Because if it stays in the grocery store, i.e. your blood cell, too long, it can oxidize. And then it becomes a problem. So is LDL really the problem, or is the lack of delivery or the lack of garbage trucks taking the junk out really the problem? Yes, that is the problem. We don't want to lower LDL, we want to increase HDL. You want a flow of things coming in and things coming out. That's what cholesterol is. One is not the villain. It only becomes the villain when it oxidizes, when it rusts. And to prevent that, you need more HDL. How do you get more HDL if a drug brings down LDL? You get more good fats, less good fats, and exercise. That's how you bring up HDL. Okay, hopefully that blew your mind. We're gonna blow your mind with more stuff next on The Health Awakening. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back to The Health Awakening with Scott Laird and Jodi Laird.
Hello.
And we were talking about cholesterol before the break, and Jodi reminded me during the break that we needed to bring up something, and that is the fact that if you don't have enough cholesterol, like if you're taking a statin drug to bring down your LDL, remember what the LDL was, you know, with that graphic? That was the delivery truck. So if you're gonna reduce the number of delivery trucks bringing nutrients to your cells, you're gonna have problems. And that's why there are stiff muscles and all kinds of aches and pains when people are on a statin. It has nothing to do with the drug, it's what the drug is doing.
Not to mention ED, that's a big one.
Ooh,
you know,
okay,
so, you know, I see a lot of men come through. I could see right away that they're on a statin by their cholesterol numbers, and then I take a look at their vitamin D, and then we talk about things, and usually, you know, the two correlate.
Now you brought up an interesting point about vitamin D. So vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient.
Correct.
Now, what is cholesterol? Why do you need cholesterol? To Jodi's point during the break to me was that, hey, remember that we need cholesterol to transport vitamin D. Why? Okay, your blood is a water-based system, right? There's oil and water. Okay, so there's oil and water, and your blood is a water-based system. Now, oil and water don't mix, do they, right? That's right. Okay, so how are you going to get fat-soluble nutrients through that water-based blood system? You need a carrier. Well, you need something to bring fat into itself and transport it through. Here is a graphic that you might find very interesting. On the left-hand side is cholesterol. On the right-hand side is soap. Notice any differences? Maybe some similarities. Cholesterol is soap. That's what it is. It takes fat-soluble nutrients, encapsulates them, and brings them through like a taxi or a delivery truck through your water-based blood system to bring nutrients to your cells. And that's a very important thing.
Right.
So now, if you love hearing this kind of stuff and you want to hear more based on your issues, what you're going through, here's a free consult. No kidding. And you're not going to get somebody who's underneath us or whatever. You're going to talk to me. LairdWellness.com/free consult. 30 minutes, not a sales pitch. This is something where you and I can talk about the things you're going through and maybe solve some things that you've been going through for your entire life. Maybe we can figure it out in 30 minutes. It's happened many times before. Now, the blood test that we do, Jodi, we've helped how many people? Because you keep a score of this because you're the admin for this.
I think we're at about 275 now.
Wow.
Yep. Over the last 4 years.
Yep.
We started right when COVID started. So like December, January 2020 is when we launched.
That's right.
Yep.
And so over almost 300 people. So we've helped over 300 people figure out some things that their doctor couldn't figure out. And now they figured it out on their own. We're going to talk about that in a second here, because they came to us and just talked about things differently. They took the same blood test you can get from a doctor. You can ask for every one of the every one of the biomarkers on our 55 biomarker blood test. You can take that to your doctor, which we've had to do with people in other countries, who, they have different systems than we do. So they took those to their doctor, turned around, got the results, gave them to us, and then did it that way. And we told them what the real deal was. Doctors aren't going to do this for you. You have to do this on your own, but we're using mainstream medicine to do it. That's the beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with mainstream blood testing. There is a problem with how they interpret it.
Absolutely.
So how do you interpret it? Okay, so listen, we're not medical doctors. We know a lot about health. I'm a naturopath, okay? I'm unlicensed by choice because I can help you in a lot more ways by being unlicensed and just talk to you and educate you. That's what I'm doing. I'm not diagnosing, not prescribing. I'm educating you. Why? Because you could learn this too. Okay, so maybe you're not going to do the naturopathic, doctor schooling that I did. But here are some of the books. We brought some of the books that we do. Okay, so here's one called "Be Your Own Doctor." This was a course that I did. I mean, you can get this book yourself. You can get this on Amazon. It's not exclusively through a school or something. You can teach yourself. Be your own doctor. All kinds of natural remedies in here. What to do about an earache, irritable bowel syndrome. There's recipes in here for tinctures you can make, all that kind of stuff. Stuff you can make at home. It's great. Another one. This is, if you're not going to get any other Bible, any other Bible, if you want to learn things in a biblical manner, that is, by the way, most of these books are written, by the way, by believers. Interesting how that correlates. This is one called Prescription for Nutritional Healing. Look at the size of this thing.
Yes.
This is my health Bible. If I can't figure something out, if it's not on the top of my head, I go back to this and I figure out what the issue is. You look at this on Amazon, it's all of, what, $20, $30.
Yeah.
It is crazy. In a medical school with information this vast, you would literally be paying hundreds of dollars for a book
And it's
like
old
this.
school, so
And
it
it's old
gives
school.
you remedies in a natural way.
Exactly. Let's give an example. This thing is crazy. This is how you can teach yourself, okay? You can be your own doctor. So this is for a burn. Okay, what do you do for a burn? And it's literally in alphabetical order. It's really that simple. So for a burn, key components you need, very important. They break it down from very important to just have on hand type of thing. Colloidal silver, potassium, B12, vitamin A, along with how much you should take and maybe some notes along the side as maybe when you should take it or whatever. So it really is that easy, guys. All you need is some references in your house, okay? And if you're still confused or you say, you know what, I don't want to go through all this because I'm not going to understand the lingo anyway. Yeah, there's a little bit of lingo in there. Okay, here's what you do. Call us, okay? LairdWellness.com/free consult. Yes, it's a free consult. Let's figure some things out. If you already know you want to do that blood test we're talking about, and we're going to talk more about that in a second, go to LairdWellness.com/testing. There's 3 different types of tests there, depending on what you want to test with us. You can save $50 by using this code. Use the word awakening, okay? And then we will help you out. We'll have all the information you need, and you're going to be surprised by what we can tell you. All right, we'll be back with more from the Health Awakening. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back to the Health Awakening. Before the break, we were talking about being your own doctor. Okay, well, doctors quite often have a team behind them, right? So they consult with colleagues and just sort of get second opinions and pass ideas around to sort of come up with maybe a good thing for a a patient to do, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe they don't know everything and they're trying to lean on folks who have different specialties or something like that, and that's why it's called medical practice, right? Well, we depend on the same type of system. So Jodi, we have more than just us with Laird Wellness. So when you decide to work with Laird Wellness or you have some questions for us, you're not just talking to Scott and Jodi. You might say, yeah, okay, Scott, I see the naturopathic stuff you do, and I believe you, I trust you, but I think maybe my stuff is a little bit beyond what you could handle. Granted, sure, yeah, maybe it is. I don't have medical history, but we do have people on our team who are.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm a certified health coach, so what I concentrate on is mostly diet. And of course, I'm the admin person too, so I will help you with your account and everything else and getting your labs done. But we do have a great team behind us. Dr. Carter, who is our Chief Medical Officer. Right? And
he's an MD.
And he specializes in eye situations and nutrient situations. We have Dr. Lewis, who specializes in things like gut health. Like, we specialize in gut health and we all specialize in gut health, but that is his main forte, along with the stealth infection. So if you have anything going on that is kind of extraordinary, that's our go-to. And then we have Dr. Lokensgaard, who concentrates on the mouth. If there is anything going on in the mouth or you need some advice, we definitely send all of our people to him. And then we have a few other people like Dr. Barubi. She is a periodontist, but a holistic periodontist. She's actually going to be doing a webinar with us in a little bit. And then we have the Savages, Dr. Savage, Frank and Inga in Asheville, North Carolina, who are excellent to work with. And we send a lot of people their way because they can get us some things that you may need for your health because we don't prescribe.
And one of our favorites on the show is Billy Weiss, pharmacist. Now, Billy will actually be the one if you go to our testing that we talked about and you see the hormone testing. He is the one that consults with you, not me.
He's also an expert with thyroid.
Yes.
So if you've got some thyroid issues that we can't, talk to you about, we will send you to Billy because he is excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody else, by the way, you've ever seen on this show, we are personal friends with.
True.
So if you've seen something on the Health Awakening way back 2-3 years ago, whatever, I've got them. They're friends of mine. You can talk to them. We'll help you set you up. If you're not sure how to approach these people or where to find them or how to get in touch with them, we can do that. So that's the beauty. It's a team that you're getting here, not just a couple of people.
Yep.
And it's just a beautiful thing because sometimes you don't get the answer from one person.
True.
And that's why you want to do your own research too, to make sure you're educated on that type of thing. And there's lots of other folks. By the way, one person who's been on this show that we don't often talk about, but he's written a book that I tend to, this is my go-to for food, by the way. His name is Dr. Will Cole. And, as far as what your blood type is or what you like to eat or, what maybe you should be eating, we'll find a way for you to do it. And he's written a book called Ketotarian, which is my go-to. This is the best way, I think. But that's what you get with us, is a bunch of people that can help you, and if we don't have the answers for you, we can move you up the chain and get the answers that you need, okay?
Yeah,
and the best part is, guys, I tell you what, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, okay? We've had people who took our standard 55 biomarker blood test to LabCorp, and LabCorp didn't understand that person had already paid for it, and they calculated how much it would cost. Well, keep in mind, when you buy it from us, it's that one blood test is $379. That also includes an hour-long consult, okay?
Right.
But when they went to LabCorp asked them for $1,200.
Yes.
I mean, that's how valuable these tests are. So if you don't like going to doctors, but you don't want to do it, cash-wise, because you know it's going to be expensive if you go directly to the source, come to somebody who can get it for you a heck of a lot less. We can, okay? We'll be right back with more on the Health Awakening on how you can get in touch with this stuff. Welcome back to the Health Awakening. Hopefully you've learned that you have to be your own doctor now, okay? Be your own doctor, get some information, get some education, because it's not as complicated as you think. take a look at it from a bigger perspective, and health is actually quite logical. That's what we tell everybody.
And it's a journey.
And it's a journey, right?
Yes.
That's why, you have to do it, because only you are living that journey. Yeah. And we can teach you some things. Like, for example, I've been in the advertising agency business where we did a lot of stuff on food. I know how to read a food label like you don't, okay? So that's some things we can teach you. We have 8-week programs where we can teach you all the secrets that we know with the videos that we did actually up on this stage, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But that's one way to get education. Get some books, read up on the things that you're suffering through. You'll be surprised how many people will heal themselves. And if you have troubles, come to somebody who knows how to help you, okay? It's not giving up. It's not that, I don't know anything. Listen, you're the CEO of your own health. That is a quote from our friend Billy Weiss, and he could not be more true. Right?
Yep.
More right than that. You are the CEO of your own health, and that's why we are here to help you, because sometimes even CEOs need help, right?
True.
That's why there's support groups. That's why there's all kinds of stuff like that for CEOs.
Yep.
Come to us, we'll help you out, okay? It starts with this, lairdwellness.com/free consult. We've helped a lot of people with this. You'll get to my calendar, get 30 minutes for free. We've solved things people have been going through for their entire life. Solved it in 30 minutes, just because they've never heard this stuff before. If you're already convinced that, yep, you know what, I've tried everything, I need to do some testing and figure out what's going on with some believers who get it, who understand things like you do, go to lairdwellness.com/testing, okay? Now, because we like you and you're believers, and we like to do things for friends who are believers,
right.
We're going to give you a deal as well. Here's how you can get that. Use code AWAKENING to get $50 off any blood test at lairdwellness.com/testing, okay? Hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Jodi, thank you for joining us.
You bet.
And thank you for joining us on The Health Awakening. Hope you've been awakened.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us today on The Health Awakening. You can catch the replay of this episode and see our complete show archive at healthawakening.tv. For more information about our guests today and all they have to offer, please visit their website on the bottom of your screen. And please remember, the information you saw today is intended for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice, nor do the views expressed reflect those of this broadcaster. Should you choose to implement this information, please do so only with the assistance of a licensed medical professional. Neither the presenter nor this broadcaster assume any responsibility for any adverse effects or consequences that may result.